Woo! Well, good morning, my friends. The only way to do it is just to so good morning. And yes, it is 11 o'clock. Well, I'm a minute late. Hi, I'm your party artist. My name's Kim Overholt. I'm here at my studio, Overholt Art and Entertainment Studio. I got the lights, I got the camera, I got the action going on, baby. And welcome to Cartooning Monday. Yeah, Cartooning Monday here at my studio, Overholt Art and Entertainment Studio. I've done a few changes over the course of the weekend. I hope you enjoy them. Yeah, I moved a few things around and kind of got everything kind of a little bit organized here. And yeah, I'm doing Cartooning Monday. Um, there's something interesting going on. We just see what's going to happen. Everything when I start off live ends up being kind of interesting or not working. And it's bright, burly Monday. And it was supposed to be a sunny Monday morning. I was supposed to be poolside today and enjoying the nice warm sunny weather, but it's actually gray and there's clouds. And so what I'm doing today is doing some Cartooning Monday for you. So let me grab my markers. So if you've never painted, never drawn, never done anything art wise, you're one of those people that says I can't even draw a stick man correctly. Well, this is the point where you stop saying those words and start in with doing some actual artwork. You can do it. I know you can. I've done it. I've seen people do it. I've shown people how to do it live, like for real, in real time. And I know you can. I know you can. It's real easy. Okay. So let me get you started. If you want to know a little bit about me, of course, you can always check out my website. Let me sit down for a second. KimOverholt.com. And I always tell you guys, it's really whatever you want to do. What it comes down to is what you want to do. And this practice makes perfect. It's the only way that you can actually make things go the way you want them to. It's just, you got to just put it out there. And actually, funny thing, I was watching a whole bunch of videos before I came on about parallel universes and all that kind of stuff. So there's a great thing about imagination. You can even think about imagine if you lived in a parallel. No, if it's two L's or one. Parallel universe, or I could spell properly. If you lived in a parallel universe where all those things that you wanted to become were all of a sudden real. Like if you love animation, you want to be an animator. All of a sudden, you knew you were an animator. Or say you wanted to be, just be an artist. Or if you wanted to be something completely different, say you wanted to be a lion tamer. you know, Nothing against lion taming. If you can do it, that's great. I've seen so many videos of things that could go wrong being a lion tamer. So you get to think of where you want to be in your life and kind of thing, and see what kind of direction you're doing right now to head in those ways. Now, I've always, I guess, always said to myself, I love being an artist. I've always been an artist. But there's a new one that I really been drawing towards, and that's being a musician. I always loved music too, so it was like, I love music for what it was worth. I've never thought of ever doing it for myself, and then it occurred to me, I could learn how to play an instrument. Learn to play. And if you want to really be a musician, it's going to start you in the right direction. So, I mean, if you want to do it, you got to be a part of it. So let me get a handy dandy eraser. So there you go, eraser. So you know what? When you want to be a really good artist, you have to be involved with the arts. So I'm one to talk right now. I'm not doing very much of anything but in my past, I have helped out with doing marquees for theater to put me in that right direction. I like and follow things of the things that I like or I find fascinating or interest me, and so I will like and follow, say anything based on, say, like David Bowie. which we all know that David Bowie's name was not David Bowie. It was Davy Jones, Mr. Jones. Yeah, the only reason that he didn't go with his original name, David Jones, was because at the time there was this thing called the Monkees. And there was a guy by the name of Davy Jones that was also in the Monkees, and he didn't want to be associated with that because he was more kind of a punk and all a different style. And of course, Davy Jones was a little bit more like back into like getting the pop and stuff like that. So they were kind of like two-dimensional, two different people with the same name. And that's how it can be for you too. If you, I mean, if you want to change your life, but you've been associated with things for so long, but you want to try something completely different, this is how you get started. You just got to find what you're looking for and head in the right direction. Okay, so if you've never drawn before, never get terrible doing stick figures, I can't draw to save my life. You're gonna save your life. You got to save your own life. So here you go. You start off with the basics: triangles, circles, and square. And of course, there's that one that puts all of them together. It's like an imaginary. You can make it into like a cone shape, or you can have something that's an idea kind of rounded the triangle, but it's actually an object, making it three-dimensional. Or the thing that I just call, you can mix the three together and create something that's like like some kind of weird little thing that you make into something of all these three, and just something strange and unusual that you make into something later on. That could be like a paw or somebody's hand. You can have a watch on it, so you make it look like somebody's arm there. But it's a matter of playing with things and see what you can turn it into. And yeah, getting to know. If you don't know about art, read up on it. If you're not sure about something, get to know what it's about before you dive into it to see what if it's something that if you are into strange things like oh, I don't know, you collect rocks or something. You have a non collection of things. It's just one more thing that that's part of you. If there's something that maybe a parallel universe where you say, if you say, I really wish I would have become an astronaut, in another lifetime. There's somebody else that has already done that for you. Okay, another example is something that and he was talking about. The guy was talking about parallel universes, and it's kind of interesting where you think you've been doing something for so long that you feel like it's a part of you, but you want to kind of switch out of it. And for an example, because you've been doing art for so long, it's been so comfortable doing it, but now you want to kind of switch out and become a musician instead. Well, you got to see what your love is between the two of them that makes them kind of similar, and kind of go from there. You know what? When I first started doing, when I became a clown, clowning is a great thing. I should say it really put me in the right frame of mind. And when I was a clown, I took it um, from the angle of being art, doing face painting, but also in the same way, I took it as being the musician because I could play my ukulele. But I was also being an actor. Another thing that I really enjoy doing is acting, and I did that by juggling. But before I was a clown, I always thought, well, what could I be? And all of a sudden, these three things accumulated into me becoming a clown for a while. Now, for those of you who don't know, yeah, I stopped being a clown, but the clown is always inside me, and there's always bits of these things that always come out, and that's why I kind of like to give a little bit of what I do back to all you too. Like I'm like a closet clown still, in a way, because I still love to do all these things. So, but you start off. The reality of being a cartoon is being the clown about it. So I always like to give people ideas too to get you started with maybe investing in becoming your own artist. And I give you some suggestions today. So, like I say, you start off with your basics, learn how to draw, learn to do. Okay, so some of you who have been here for a while and have watched me do this, I'm going to give you some assignments because sometimes you need some assignments to put you in the right to find if you actually would like to be an artist, because this is kind of things that you that might occur, you might want to try. Okay, so one, I say, like I always say, you draw your favorite cartoon. We all have our favorite, whether it be Charlie Brown, something simple like a simple Charlie Brown, or like when I do my Garfield. Yeah, whatever. Draw your favorite cartoon. Just practice drawing your favorite cartoon. Learn what they are, like lots of circles, lots of squares, lots of triangles from those shapes. Yep. Right. All right. And number two, I would say create a cartoon inspired with use your computer and make something digital. Play with those. Play with your mouse. With if you have a stylus like I do for drawing uh, on the computer, stylus that'll work on a pad, that kind of thing. That's what I have. Just because I have done animations in the past, yeah, and try and do animation. I'm still trying my animation. I still love being an animated kind of person too. So that's the other reason why I love animation was because I could and doing the clown thing. That's the other thing with being clown. I could be my own cartoon for a while. So make cartoon themed crafts. So maybe some craft based on a cartoon. I remember at one point I wanted to make a build a cat toy, and now, but that was before I went to college. And when I got to college, there was such thing as a build a cat toy, so I bought it, and I still have it. Hold on, I'll show you. Hold on. Bert, Brady, you'll be so surprised. Hold on. If I can get through your phone. Hold on. Remember, I'm only showing you the door. Okay. So here's Bill. Yeah, so I got to build a cat toy. Yeah, there's so nice. Yeah, he's in Hawaii right now. Okay. Okay. One day I'll show you the other room. You've seen part of it. Oh, when I do my other things, if you see my other ones, you see what I do next. Oh, okay. Sorry, it's a cramped space, when you're around here. Okay, so number 4, write a script. Oh, yeah. So maybe if you have an idea for a cartoon. If I can spell, write a script for your cartoon. Okay, number 5. Give me some ideas. Design a cartoon-inspired fashion. How about that? Like T-shirt. Yeah, make a T-shirt or hat. And you can do it either by drawing it, you can make it digitally, you can, like as a craft, you can make a t-shirt or hat if you want to. And using your design, that gives you some idea. You can make your own merchandise. Six, I wrote it down before we started so I could kind of think, what can I talk about today? Well, there's a few things. Create a cartoon themed collage or mosaic of your favorite cartoon. Yeah, that's a good thing to do. Seven, draw cartoon style portraits of friends and family, like when I was showing you how we do caricatures. Eight, make a cartoon inspired from an animation or a gift. If you can, try and make your own cartoons. Yeah, or maybe from a film that you've seen. Maybe if you watched, say, a Mickey Mouse movie and you want to draw Mickey Mouse, draw Mickey Mouse from the movie. Okay, and 10, 8, oh, sorry, 9 first. 9, design a cartoon themed mural. Mural, yeah. Maybe, yeah, I did that. I have pictures somewhere of a mural that I did with like the Hulk, Spider Man. I had Buzz Lightyear. And finally, number 10, because I only give you 10 things to do. 10, create a cartoon inspired sculpture. So, so make a 3D sculpture. If I can spell sculpture. Now, that might be some big assignments for people who have never drawn or anything before. But if you have been here for a while and you're like, okay, Kim, now what? I've been practicing and practicing and practicing. Here's some good ideas and assignments for you guys to do, and find out which one will work best for you. If you're young, you can tackle all of them, and if you're old like I am, pick one and go for it. I'm thinking maybe I might try doing maybe more of this, doing a T-shirt, or you know what and doing caricatures. Always, have been a favorite of mine. I can do a cartoon from animation. Like I do all these things. I can do all these things. I've made a sculpture. I've drawn my favorite computer. I've used the computer. I've made my own comics, which have been sold to the Pirates of Love. Crafts based on a cartoon. You know, we can have all kinds of neat and wild and wonderful things. So this is just a sample of some ideas that you can do. And if you're just running out the bat and you want to get some ideas for doing, sometimes, like myself, I have days where I'm like, okay, what am I going to do? Like I have all this knowledge now, and how do I? You got to find your avenue to put it into and direct it somehow that way. I guess. Like I say, I can only show you the door. It is you that has to go through it. Now the door I was showing you earlier, that's my door. That's nothing to do with you. You have to take care of you, and then in the end, that's all that matters. It's all that counts when it comes to doing animation. It's not all that matters in the world, because taking care of you and taking care of other people is, it's something that we all probably should do more often, is help along the way, because we all need some help. And that's part of the reason why I started this channel, partly because, they stopped. I started it back doing this in 2000, what was it, 2018, yeah, when they stopped like having people go anywhere in public. I just had to keep on talking. I just wanted to keep on giving myself out there, because it's who I am. I can't think of anything else that I'd rather be doing than trying to help anybody who's in the same shoes I am. And I know if there's something that I'm stuck on, um, I would try and see if I could do it myself. But if I know somebody who could help me along the way, and not do it for me. I would never want anybody to do it for me, but just show me how things work and I could like progress from there. And that would be perfect because that would put me in the frame of mind that I wanted to be in. Now, the question is, nowadays, do I still want to be an animator? Like that's the way I started out. That's what I, and it's a good thing to think about. It's a good thing to think about. Like when you start out being an artist, what are your reasons behind being an artist? Is it something that you want, or is it something that you think that it is part of life the way it has been for you, and you think this is just a normal progression? Or is it just something out of left field that, all of a sudden you just want to do art? We all have our reasons for what we do, yes, for sure. And we all have our ways of getting to that as well. I find that I'm always creating, I'm creating. I run out of ideas of ways, like back in my past, I had already done the fairs. I have already done all the going to different places, setting up all my artwork, letting people take a look at it. People just mostly kick tires and then kind of walk away. Some people bought. I did have one time when I was at Mate Cafe, and I was doing a lot of portraits at that time of famous artists. And I find that, yeah, I do finger paintings of famous artists, and I find that those sell. So as the dear boy and things like that. Like I have those kind of things here. But what I really want to do is put something out there. Like I want to be a director. I want to have something big. I want to make something huge because I've always thought that there's more. There's more out there than just doing the simple thing. There's more to it than that. There's an energy out there that we all can grasp. It's that one moment where we are all kind of like in that special, like they talk about different parallel universes. This is one where we're walking right into the right spot at the right time. We're in that groove and we're heading in the right direction. We all know that we're in the right direction by the things that we do and the things that we see. And if you look around you and you're like, okay, this isn't working. This is what I was expecting. Sometimes it's something that doesn't have to change here. It's something that has to change here. Something that has to change in here. Something that you have to progress towards and like get over all the extraneous stuff. I guess is what you have to do. Drop it and just concentrate on that one thing that you want. And that's what they say. They say if you can just concentrate, it's funny because like I did I do different projects and things like that. I'm always hoping that maybe when I'm doing a project, somebody who is from that particular theme will also be able to help me somehow. It's been one of those things where it's just like I'm just flying by the seat of my pants. But you know what has helped me? A lot of things that has to do with just the looking up stuff on Google, and I just keep it simple. I find what I'm looking for, and sometimes if you're looking for it, that's all it's going to take. It's just you got to find it looking for it, right? All right, and but of course, cartooning. Cartooning Monday is all about just doing the cartoons. Now, my Nana, when she started out, she wanted to be an artist. She probably wanted to be more, and that's probably the reason why I do it because I think of my grandmother and how she really wanted to pursue her art, but never actually went towards it. So I kind of do it in remembrance and kind of like a grateful kind of remembrance of her. I keep on doing art, and even though it turned a little bit more, like I say, cartoonish, it's all about just enjoying it, and not just it's all about like and just enjoying life itself. So because my motto for everybody is life is what you make it. And it started off with my grade six teacher telling me this sentence, and us having to decipher it for ourselves. And that was back when I was 10, and before my dad had passed away, and right before, you learn truths about all kinds of things. You start off young and you think Life is what you make it. You can make it whatever you want it to be. If you want it to be a misery and a struggle, it will be a misery and a struggle. If you want it to be something magical, it can be something magical. It all depends on you. And I guess some people don't think that they can make any difference, where I tell you, you can make the difference in the world. It doesn't matter. I'm just like one of those messages that go out into the universe saying, I believe in you. You can do it. I believe you can do it. I can only show you the door. It is you that has to go through it. And for me, for doing this kind of thing, I love to be someone who inspires people to keep going on what they enjoy. But you have to know where your passions lie. That's another thing that's very important too, is knowing that you love doing art, that you love music, that you love acting, that you love being alive. That is like, what would be an alternative? Being dead, being silent, being unhappy. Who wants that? No, we all have a way that we want to be, to make us in our best state, and always pushing us to the right direction. And I'm hoping that, doing this, I know I watched this other guy, and he's got over like 1 million people watching him. And you know, but he talks about this philosophy constantly. So that's something that, it's something that pertains to him and how he directs his life, of thinking he's got this uh, third. I don't know. They're alternate, the plan B, the plan C. There's so many different directions. There's so many different directions that your life can go in, and it all comes down to you. Isn't that funny? Isn't that great? Isn't that wonderful to know? I mean, yeah, I can be here talking to you and telling you, life is wonderful, but only I can say that to you. You have to be the one that knows it for sure, right? Okay, but anyways, I get philosophical sometimes when I should be talking about cartooning. So for those of you, so I gave you that nice assignment, and then for those of you who just starting out, learning how to do stick people, I'm going to show you something that's kind of interesting, because I know everybody's like, you remember the stick man that you draw when you do the hangman? It's always like that. And then you keep on going with the hands and the fingers and the blah, 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 right? Well, it's almost like when you draw people, you can start off with just tracing around that stick person. And it's always good to have a pen, a pencil and an eraser, because when you erase all the lines, there you go. You've already started making the shape. So when I was in college, I was I took life drawing courses where you had to draw the human figure naked and in its natural form. And there are so many different shapes that are on the human body that it is kind of interesting, and I find it always fascinating, because my main teacher, she told me, when you're drawing a person, for example, if you're looking at a person, start right here, start drawing people right about here, and you will get your proportions to come out a little bit better. So um, when you're drawing, if you've never drawn a person before, just start at the middle and work your way up. So kind of think of what the body shape, kind of like their lungs are kind of shaped kind of like this. There's always shapes for everything. You can eliminate that. And then of course there's the neck, and then there's the head. And you can eliminate a lot of stuff that's around there. So let's say you got that so far. So now you can add a couple circles. You can add a circle there and a circle there, and that's where like the shoulders are. And then you got to think of where the elbows are. Up there, and you can extend it a little further. And keep in mind, there's always like different shapes. So start off very basic. You just wanted to try and figure out where all the connections are. There's a connection in your wrist. There's a connection there. There's a connection there. Connections in the wrist. You come up to the, and we are so complex. It is actually very surprising for people who can draw the human body. And so there's like a second part down here that comes down. And then you have like again, like you all kind of follow along. You have circles here and like here. You can draw this here. Make another one there, another one, and there's the foot. So again, and again, you just have to eliminate everything that's around it. So now you have a little bit more of a structure. And there's where your spine would be right in the middle. Comes right up the back. If you were see through it, look like that. And if you had and you can make, if you want to start making a skeleton, you can start drawing in all the ribs. But if you are an artist too, you have to keep in mind the muscle structure. So there's muscle here, there's muscle there, there's muscle there, and there's muscle there. There's two muscles here, there's two bones here, and there's two bones there that make everything move. Good to know the shape and how things are all manipulated. And of course, if you move your body, you know how your toes work, you know how your arms and fingers work. And then when it comes to the face again is one of those things where you can cut it in half and you can kind of find how things kind of go together. And now you've created the human form, and it's very, very rough and basic, but that's the start. And then practice it. Practice, practice, practice. Practice, practice, practice. I can't specify, I can't say it enough. Everybody's like, oh, it's a talent. No, no. When you start realizing how to draw, you got to practice. You got to practice and practice and practice. You got to get good. You got to get fine. You got to get precise. Because if you want to be, just to go show you, like, there's all kinds of different cartoons out there. You don't have to have any kind of, like, there's the Bob's Burgers. I think there's just like people who make animations that are just simple and making like a face. And if you can just make the face go sideways, it looks like that. And then you could add that and make it into a cartoon character doing whatever, if they can make them so simple and so complex. I always recommend you looking at different animations too and see what you'd want to do. Would you want to have something simple or would you like to make it more complex? That's your call. Me, I like to keep everything as simple as possible because when you don't have a lot of time to do stuff, you got to keep it really simple and fast. So I mean, I have a character that I can draw. And after a while, I mean, after a while you get used to making something a certain way. You just keep on drawing, draw all the time, draw, like don't stop. If you like what you do, if you have a passion for something, whether it be cartooning, art, animation, uh, music, um, architecture, car design, storybook, any kind of animation for taking apart engines and putting them back together, any kind of like that's a thing that you all have to do. You kind of learn the practice. When you have the practice down, you become unstoppable. And you can do whatever you want. Every time if somebody says, oh, can you draw this, you go like, yeah, I got this design going on where it's kind of like You can see it in your mind, and it's just a matter of relaying it to a person and saying, and this is what I want it to be. I want it to be a blue car, and I want it to have like say you want it all of a sudden you've got this idea that you want to see it traveling, so you create it moving on a road, or have that little bit of something where I mean, there's so many different directions that you can go when you know what you want to draw and things like that. Myself, I've been working. I do a lot of cartooning. Like I do a lot of very simple, like drawings, and I like I say, I do a lot of this. And I can keep drawing like faces over and over and over, like as much as I wanted to. But what I really, really enjoy is being able to make them move, make the whole motion come to life. So have them not just making a face, but being able to make the expression like that. That they're talking like there's another face that they can make, or you make like a uh, let's see, happy. You can make them like see how facial expressions just all of a sudden it just changes everything. Make that into a cartoon. This is where the stuff right from the basics begins. So you get right from the start, right up into a great assignment to all kinds of things that you can do with your art, into making it into paintings. Do a painting of somebody that you like. Do a painting, make it a cartoon of somebody you like. You can do whatever your heart desires. And that's the great thing about doing cartooning. And I'm glad that you're all here today for Cartooning Monday. And if you want any more information, please check out my website, KimOverholt.com. Contact me because what you'll see at my website is probably just most of the art that I do, where like I do a lot of everything. I do sculpture, I do animation, like well, very very basic. I do finger paintings. I do scripts and things like that of ideas for. I've got stories like The Plight of Time. On Kindle, where the book cover is one that I designed myself. And you know what? That's the thing about being an independent artist. That's it. Being independent and being an artist is probably the best thing that you can do. And if you can do things like put the graphics into your computer, sell them, and make a profit, that's great too. But if you're just doing it for the passion of it too, for the fun and for just the satisfaction of doing it, that's important too. So it is what it is for you, and it's what you make it. So like life, you have to find out what it's going to do for you in this realm or maybe another. But I can only show you the door. It is you that has to go through it, just like everybody else has had in the past. It all takes time, it all takes patience, and it all takes something to get you out that gate and say, yes, I'm going for it. I've got to do it. Get out of the comfort zone. Get uncomfortable. Make your anxiety turn into action. Be something that will inspire others, like myself, to keep showing you how to do cartooning every Cartooning Monday. Because you know what, I've got younger ones that they're so excited to do cartooning, and they really find it in themselves, that love of art, and it had nothing to do with how they were raised. It just one day they just see something and it's just like, yeah, I'm going to do it. That's the spirit, right? That's the spirit. And with that, I just want to say thank you very much for tuning in. I gave you a big assignment, so there's lots of stuff for you to take on or try. I have days where I have to ask Google, "What do you want me to draw?" and it'll tell me. But there's always times where I'm like, okay, if you don't know what to draw, contact me and I'll give you some ideas, give you some suggestions, maybe put you in the right direction. And that's what I appreciate. So, on that note, I just want to say peace, oh brother, with a little bit added. And no, I did not. You know what? I have not talked about Brad Pitt today. Well, Brad Pitt, what can I say? I didn't see him yesterday either. But it doesn't matter here. Well, neither here nor there. I hope he's. I know that he's probably like, oh, whatever. This Kim, whatever. Me and Brad Pitt were like this. This is me over here. And he's probably like, okay, well, you know what? She's a pain in my ass, but at least she got a good sense of humor. I'll put up with that, and I appreciate his sense of humor too, because I mean, half the things that he's been in, he dies throughout. He's like, okay, backtrack just a little bit before I go. I wanted to tell you about a story. The one time I was like, because I've been bombarded by Brad Pitt imposters over the last two couple years. And one of the things that said that I really enjoyed, and I do enjoy it about his acting, is that he has a great way of dying. It's always interesting the way he dies. So I told him that, and a lot of them were like, "Okay, geez, got to be that way." but but it is something that I appreciate, and and I appreciate his sense of humor for I keep on knocking him, but he keeps getting up again. So, anyways, but I hope you have a fantastic day. And Jean knows exactly what I'm talking about. Jean, if you're out there, have yourself a fantastic day, you guys. Oh my gosh, I gotta go. Parting is such sweet sorrow. Maybe one day.